I'll tell you how science can help you escape procrastination in just 3 minutes, and you won't have to use willpower to do it. First, picture it like this. In front of you is a huge topic. Maybe it's your final project, or maybe it's an essay. In your head, you start imagining that you'll do it this way, or maybe you'll do it another way. You may even already imagine what it looks like after you finish it, but then reality slaps you really hard. When you actually start doing it, you feel drained, uncomfortable, and you keep thinking about TikTok, or your mind just starts floating around and you can't really get the work done. So let me explain it more clearly. When you imagine the achievement, your brain actually releases dopamine to make you feel less stressed. It gives you that good feeling, almost like you've already finished the work. But in reality, the work is still there. The task always has variables. It's just that your brain is filling those difficult blanks with the achievement you want to feel. So you start feeling like this task isn't that hard until you actually do it. That's when the variables start showing up, like the resources you need aren't there yet, or you have to prove this argument before moving on to another one, and so on. That's when you start feeling drained and procrastinating. At that moment, we can see one brain mechanism called the avoidance mindset. So what does that mean? When you see a huge amount of work right in front of you, your brain turns on energy-saving mode. The reason is that most of your essays are usually one huge topic. So we often don't have clarity, and we don't really have any specific goal either. And our brain hates that. It always wants clarity and a specific reward, like what exactly this thing does and what the exact steps are. This vagueness makes the brain feel uncomfortable, and it starts thinking of reasons to procrastinate. So what actually breaks this loop isn't a hack, and it isn't willpower. It's a single sentence that tells your brain, in advance, exactly what to do when the urge to procrastinate hits. And once you write it, the task stops feeling like a threat. It's called an if-then plan. But I'm sure most of us don't break it down the right way. We do it like, today I'll do this, tomorrow I'll do that. And that actually makes everything even more vague than it was at the beginning. So what exactly is this 3-minute habit? Let me show you how, using my own case as the example. I need to write a YouTube script today. That is way too vague. So I need to use Peter M. Gollwitzer's framework. Most of us force ourselves to feel motivated, but according to Peter M. Gollwitzer, he sets a signal for himself. If situation X happens, then I do action Y. Thanks to that, when the signal appears, you don't need to decide from scratch. According to him, a good plan includes 5 steps, and you can apply it right away. First, choose a specific goal. Next, choose a clear signal. Give yourself a clear time and a specific place. Choose an action you can do immediately, like finding related sources in a short amount of time. After that, write it as an if-then sentence. The purpose of this is to create a cue for your brain. I made a video about how to use cues, so you can check that out too. Let's go back to my script writing example. If it is 9 a.m. on Saturday and I sit down at my desk, then I write one hook sentence for the 3-minute video. If I already have the hook, then I list 3 main ideas, 1 line for each idea. If I start editing the wording too early, then I put the part that needs editing in brackets and keep writing. If I get stuck for more than 5 minutes, then I stand up for 2 minutes, then write a really bad version of that part. If-then sentences like this help you always have a clear next step when writing a script. This helps your brain shift from a state of hesitation, where it doesn't know what to do, into having one specific task, and it doesn't have to use too much energy. That is the core goal. This may sound pretty long, but trust me, it only takes you 3 minutes. This is extremely important for every task you're working on. And once the signal is clear, the next thing you need to do is simply act according to your plan. Start with a short amount of time, somewhere around 3 minutes again. The 3-minute habit I'm talking about is basically about reducing the heaviness of the task so you can start in the most comfortable way possible. And that number isn't random. 3 minutes is the threshold where your brain stops filing a task under "this is a threat." Anything bigger and it starts looking for an exit before you've even begun. Because with 3 minutes, the task will always feel light, the mental barrier is low, and it becomes hard to find a reason to procrastinate. Pay attention to how you can create a 3-minute commitment in your work, because the hardest part is not how long you can focus. The hardest part is the distance between you when you feel the most drained and the work you need to do. And that gap gets shortened quite a lot. And that is everything I know about using 3 minutes to escape procrastination. If you want to learn more about the cue I mentioned earlier, click here. And this is Ma. I always make content about productivity through psychology. No red pill or hustle culture. Ma signing out. Stay sharp, stay weird.